Are you tired of being overcharged and forced into paying a monthly subscription for your Mac and Windows software? Well, if you are, currently we're having a 50% off discount on all the latest Mac and Windows software, such as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Photoshop, Microsoft Office, and much more. Our 50% off discount will be ending soon, so be sure to text us "Need Software" to 323-405-1341. That's 323-405-1341. We aim to please, so expect 24/7 technical support, the latest premium software, instant software links delivered to your email, and PayPal buyer's protection guarantee.
What's good? Make sure you click that like button. Click that like button immediately. Click that share button. Yeah, I know they talking crazy. Nobody's hiding from nobody. As you see, I ain't done no shows in a little minute. I've been on the road, man. I'm tired. But we here now. We're going to confront this head on. And it goes a little something like this. Peace, y'all. Welcome back to the Godcast. My name is Lord Jamar. Shout out Digga, Godfrey, Artie Stacks. I said I'm going to take this one by myself today. I'm going to take this one on my own. I went on Twitter and seen them talking shit. Oh, why you being so quiet, Lord Jamar? Why you being so quiet about this? Listen, first of all, you act like I'm just online knowing every goddamn thing that everybody says. I'm not, and I don't. First off, thank you, OG Busta. He said, no one is saying they did. Okay, we're going to get there. He said, no one's saying they didn't contribute, but there's a huge difference between contribution and creation. That is a fact, OG Busta. Let's clap that up. Thank you, OG Busta 07. I concur with that, but we're going to get into it more. Nick's 33. Thank you, Nick's 33. He said, peace to the gods and earths. God body for life. Indeed, God, indeed. Okay. As we building on this Understanding Knowledge Day, all being born to culture freedom. Okay. I'm about to make you understand the knowledge that I have about this culture that we call hip hop. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. Like I said, make sure you click that like button. Click the share button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell and click all so that you know whenever we drop something new. All right, so yeah, I was getting hit up. Yo, Lord Jamal, did you hear what Fat Joe said? Did you hear what Busta Rhymes said? No, I didn't. Like, what'd they say? You know? And I proceeded to, you know, receive clips, receive paraphrasings, all kinds of stuff I received. First of all, I want to say, man, those is my brothers, you know. I love Fat Joe. I love Busta. At the same time, I got to make knowledge born. I gotta tell the truth as I know it. But let's bring it back to the top first. So this whole controversy, who started hip hop, what was the real influences? Was it the foundational Black Americans? Was it the West Indians? You know, they keep citing Kool Herc as being the West Indian influence of the creation of hip hop. Then they're saying Puerto Ricans, 50%, and all of this type of stuff. And just a lot of things are being said. First of all, I just want to say for the record, I think it's very unfortunate that we're even getting sidetracked with all of this shit right now. You know, it's almost like somebody's putting that divide and conquer energy just amongst us. There's this real divide and conquer energy. And it's weird because I feel like as a person, you know, I guess this is almost how I guess mulattoes would feel. You know, it's like your allegiances, you feel torn sometimes, depending on what your background is. And I'm gonna get into that. But the truth is the truth, man. And we got to get into it. So real quick, before I get into this, let me get into my personal background, because there's a lot of things swirling around about me in concern with FBA and all of this fucking shit. People think they know who I am and what my background is and all that. So just let me give you a little bit about my background. And let me just say first, before we even dig into this deeper, who wasn't there at the beginning of hip hop to contribute as an MC, DJ, and you know, break dancer and all that was white people. So let's get that right out the way right now. They wasn't there. They came in a little bit later, but they wasn't there at its inception. We can all agree upon that. And this is why my whole house of hip hop and all of that shit that I was putting y'all on to years ago, that's where that comes from. Okay, but let me just get into my background. First of all, you know, a lot of people saying, Lord Jamar, you're Caribbean. You can't even comment on certain shit. Whoa. Now, I told you that my people's from Guyana, but that's my great grandfather came from Guyana. My grandfather, my father, everybody I know in my family is from here. Now, that's on my father's side. My mother's side would be considered foundational Black Americans. And now that's something, a whole nother conversation is how do families like that who are blended with foundational Black American families and Caribbean families, do they deserve some sort, any part of reparation, like some sort of half of their family? I don't know. It gets very technical. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. I say this to say my family have grown up as foundational Black Americans. Okay. Whether my great-great-grandfather was from Guyana, nobody in my family spoke with an accent. We ain't had no Guyanese recipes passed down or no shit like that. Like, I was eating everything that black people here in America eat. When Roots came out, I was fucking angry and went to school. We was ready to wild out on the white boys just like anybody else. I didn't necessarily find out about my Guyanese connection till I was grown. Okay. But I did grow up around, there's a lot of Jamaicans and shit in New Rochelle and shit like that. So I had a lot of Jamaican friends and shit like that too. That's where, the mastery of dealing with the accent and shit would come from, but definitely not from people in my house. So to try to paint me as some Caribbean outsider, it's just wrong. Like, it's just wrong. I hate the fact that my fucking video is slower than my audio. I don't know why this shit be doing this, but it is what it is. So anyway, I just want to tell you that to let you know that I have the right to speak on these things. I've seen hip hop from its inception. Hey, Miss Ravioli, how you doing? I've dealt with, and a lot of the founding fathers of hip hop are people that I can say are friends of mine. So I believe I am somewhat of an expert on this subject. And I just remember the times. Do you remember the time? Yes, I remember the times. So let's get into them. Now, let's start with this whole Jamaican thing that a lot of people say. Big up to the Jamaicans and all of that. But upon building with a lot of the elders, especially, you can go on my channel and see a interview that I did with Grand Mixer DXT. Okay, go check the interview that I did with Grandmaster DXT. This was, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, maybe. Where basically he's saying he doesn't really understand why everybody is necessarily giving credit to what Herc was doing in the Bronx as the origination of hip hop. That there were many different DJs from all over Brooklyn, Grandmaster Flowers. There were people in Westchester, Queens. Like, hip hop was something that, and now, and when I say hip hop, I mean 2 turntables playing break beats and the music of the day and all of that, and bringing your set outside and all of that type of shit. Like, I think Herc, and I love Herc, like Herc is my man and all of that. But, I think Herc has benefited from marketing almost. And a lot of people, Grandmaster Flowers was in the clubs. Yes, he was a club DJ. He also did outside shit too. But he was doing the same type of thing, 2 turntables and all of that. Like the whole thing about the Jamaican sound system, where they say that we, that was the influence. Like, he might have had bigger speakers than a lot of people and all of that, but he wasn't the only one with the sound system at the time. That's what I'm saying. Like, thank you, Charles Briggs. He said, foundational Black Americans are the sole creators of hip hop. No other group, especially Latinos, had a hand in creating it. Puerto Ricans used to call it jungle music in the early days of hip hop. All right, now, thank you, Charles Briggs. Quickly, let's address what Charles is saying here. Now, I know for a fact that Puerto Ricans were there in the beginning of hip hop. They were there. They were there as DJs. They were there as MCs. They were there as breakdancers. What they were not there as was any kind of 50%, and this is all due respect, but we got to tell the truth. It was not 50%. Yes, a lot of Puerto Ricans did not fuck with black people, did not fuck with black music. It was only certain pioneering Puerto Ricans, male and female, that fucked with black people and black music. If I had to give it a percentage, 10%, I'd say, maybe 10%, maybe more like 8. I don't know, but it definitely wasn't 50%. I mean, let's keep it real. I remember back in the days, you know, the Puerto Ricans would call us the Morenos and the Cocolos. That wasn't a complimentary word for black people. Thank you, Charles Briggs. That wasn't a complimentary word for us. That was basically niggas in Puerto Rican. Oh, you're Moreno. Like I used to like Puerto Rican girls and all of that. So now you'd be like, oh, but you can't come to my house. My mother, she gonna bug out. You know, she doesn't like, you know what I mean? Like, let's keep it real. A lot of Puerto Ricans were prejudiced against black people, but you did have pockets, you know, especially since in the hood, Puerto Ricans, especially certain hoods, Puerto Ricans and blacks were living side by side. And one of those places were in certain parts of the Bronx. Certain parts of the Bronx, what we would call FBA, and Puerto Ricans were living side by side. You'd have other parts of the Bronx where FBA and Jamaicans were living side by side with each other. But let's keep it real again. Who had the most influence in these hoods? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Let's keep it real. It was the black people. It was the black people. Like that whole swag that a lot of Puerto Ricans ended up having. Yo, they ended up dressing like us, mock necks and Swedish knits and Pumas and the deep. Come on, yo. That was black people doing that. We taught motherfuckers how to dress and all kinds of shit. Like, let's keep it a buck. I remember at a time when it wasn't even cool to be Jamaican, where Jamaicans didn't necessarily want to admit that they were Jamaican. So how is it that they had all this influence if if at some point they wasn't even manifesting themselves? I remember when it started being cool to be Jamaican and all of that type of shit. You started hearing about Shower Posse and shit like that, and you know, Yellow Man and all of that type of shit, Josie Wales, you know, when that shit started getting cool. And the first hip hop reggae record that I remember was Run DMC and Yellow Man, a song called Roots Rap Reggae. Go look it up. And it wasn't a hit. It wasn't a hit, but actually it was an effort of some FBA dudes trying to bring light to reggae inside hip hop. Let's fucking keep it real. Let's fucking keep it real. Somebody said, technically, who was the first PR rapper? I don't know who was the exact first. I just know people like Whip, Prince Ruby D, Tito. These were some of our most early rappers. I just saw something, because now there's people that's trying to act like we're saying that Puerto Ricans weren't there in the beginning. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Puerto Ricans weren't there. They definitely was there. They're even saying a guy named Joe Conzo, he had brought Tito Puente into the studio to fucking play for Sugar Hill Gang. All right. Dope. So y'all was part of that. But guess what? At the same time, we didn't know Tito Puente was on that record. For us, that would have added no value. I'm sorry. It's just true. That would have added no value to the record for all the FBA kids that was loving the Sugar Hill Gang in that moment. Having Tito Puente play congas on the fucking shit would have gave it no value. Would have been like, who's Tito Puente? Who's that? What does it matter? We want to hear shake it, don't break it. You know, you can make it. That's what the fuck we wanted to hear. That was the cool shit. That was the cool shit. Yes, and a lot of people are making a good point, like Pastor Dutchie. I would make the argument that it was the FBA who even made reggae and certain things popular, made it pop, made it mainstream. It wasn't until we said, oh, Pastor Dutchie's the shit. We like that song. That's when the shit blowed up on some international shit. But as far as it, like, you know, in Jamaica, that could have been just a regional Jamaican hit if it didn't make it outside of Jamaica. And for us here to grab a hold of it and say, nah, that shit is dope. So yes, make no mistake about it. We have always been the progenitors of what's cool, like around the world. This is why they need us to buy into a whole lot of shit, because we are the ones that influence the world. Now we can take other elements in and you know, and let it have its space within our shit and not even have a problem about it. Because again, Puerto Ricans was there from the beginning. They were there from the beginning, but it wasn't a 50-50 split. Jamaicans, they would be at jams and shit like that, of course. You know what I mean? But was, you know, were Jamaicans shaping and molding everything that was going on? Some people will say, you know, Puerto Ricans brought the breakdance, and no, black people been doing that. Black people been doing that. I can show you films from the 1940s where they down on the floor doing windmills and spinning around with their leg and all this type of shit. That predates all of that shit. Now, you please show me some footage of anybody else besides foundational Black Americans doing shit like that. You got black people rapping back in the 40s, earlier than that. Like, forms of rap go back. Adine. You got in the 60s people like Gary Bird and come on. Last Poets and all of that type of shit. We know who these people are. Why are we playing these games? But see, what I am seeing, because I've always been one to try to bring original people together. First of all, I don't like the fact that we saying Puerto Ricans and all that. Like, within the nation of gods and earths, power rules are original people. These we see them as original people. You the same as me. So why are we even dividing ourselves with this shit? Because you got dropped off on some little island and they made y'all speak Spanish and all this type of shit. And they fucking, you know what I mean? Since the island is smaller, they can graft faster and make them lighter faster. So that's why there's a lot of light, Puerto Ricans. But there's Puerto Ricans that looks like me. There's Puerto Ricans that's darker than me. Because we know what time it is. All of this division, Jamaican, Puerto Rican, FBA. I mean, it hurts, man. I've always had Puerto Rican dudes down with my crew. You know what I mean? Shout out to my homies from Allerton Avenue, the God Ken J, Maintain. You know what I mean? Fucking Divine. Whole bunch of Power Rule brothers who know that the black man is God. Okay, let's clap that up. Who know that the black man is God and see themselves as the black man. So what are we talking about here? What's all this? You know what I mean? Where's all of this coming from? Where's it all come from? Nix33 said, Lord Jamar is a proud member of the 5% Nation, as a founding member of the legendary group Brand Nubian. Brother, you definitely have a voice, and you are a gatekeeper in hip hop. Wow. Well, thank you, Nix33. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen some people talking about, his silence on the subject speaks volumes and all of that. No. My silence just meant I hadn't really done any shows, but my silence means I want to just take time to do the knowledge before I do the wisdom. See, y'all motherfuckers, a lot of people are so accustomed to doing the wisdom before they do the knowledge. They want to speak before they think. I was taught to do the opposite. I was taught to think before I speak. So again, everything I'm saying right now, I'm saying here with love. I'm not coming in here to be like, whoever was saying opposite of this, fuck them. No. And we're taking some of these clips. Like I saw a clip of Busta. I know damn well that had to be years ago because his fucking hair was twisted up and all of that type of shit. The God ain't had his hair like that in a minute. So maybe we need to ask the God how he feels about these things now. You know what I mean? You could take a clip of me from years ago where I might have had a view that was contrary to what my view is now and play that and be like, this is what Lord Jamar. No. That's what I thought back then. Maybe, just maybe, certain words could be clarified. I don't know. You know what I mean? I definitely would ask the God now, what his outlook is on those things. Because there were some things that were said that I feel, were definitely taken offense to by foundational Black Americans. And yeah, I would hope that maybe certain things would be reconsidered, because we do have culture. We've shown time and time again that here in America, the foundational Black Americans are able to create culture that no one else has been able to create. And we've done it time and time again, whether it be, the blues, whether it be jazz, whether it be country, rock and roll, hip hop. Like, we keep doing it. Like, and we'll do it again if we so choose. If you fucking make us feel like, you know what, y'all can have this shit. You know what I mean? Which is basically how y'all kind of making us feel about hip hop right now. Getting us so goddamn disgusted where it's going to be like, you know what? Y'all had this shit, man. We're going to fuck around and create some new shit. Again. Because that's what the fuck we do. Grant Sadipo said, even in the South, people were rapping. Yes. And rapping is different than chatting. Jamaican chat. It's different. Yeah, the rhythms are different. The swag. See, that's what, and that's the word that I guess has been adopted. It's just something that the American original man has that is just admired by everyone. Let's keep it real. It's admired by everyone. And everyone wants a little piece of it. You know what I mean? Everybody wants a little piece of it. And I think that's what's making people who identify as FBA upset, because it seems like everybody wants to take a little piece of the swag, but at the end of the day, they don't even want to give credit to where it came from. Like, they literally have like shows like Ancient Aliens, you know what I mean? Like, that's a show where they refuse to give credit to the Black man for all kinds of wonders that we've done across the planet. So they'd rather like just make up some shit about aliens and shit. Well, maybe aliens came down to Earth to do this shit. Like they got to give credit to somebody else. And it just seems like that's kind of what people feel like is going on now with hip hop and a whole lot of shit. So yes, it's got to stop. But at the same time, let us not buy into this whole divide and conquer technique that's going on here. I just saw my brother Black Dot talking about this the other day on hip hop. And he's like, yo, I'm disappointed in y'all, how easily we are just falling for this divide and conquer shit, while, the one who's making money enough to, feed his children's children off of us, he's getting away scot-free. We're not even talking about white people right now and how they fucking stole the soul of this shit. We in here arguing with each other. Too soon, thank you. He said the mistake is we are too welcoming with things we are the originators of. Other ethnicities keep outsiders on the outside of their culture. I mean, That's true. That's true. But see, in the case of especially Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans in New York, all I can say is we grew up together. We grew up side by side, although the foundational Black Americans outnumbered all other groups. So we had the most influence. It says, Mumra, thank you for your donation. He said, are Latinos the first to merge two languages in rap? That's a good question. Probably. I'd take a guess that they were. If so, what's the point? Like, if so, that's cool. And I'm sure we as foundational Black Americans appreciated it. But that was only going to go so far. Why? Because most of us Black people don't speak Spanish. And so we wouldn't have been able to understand a whole bunch of stuff that was, whoa. Hang on. No. Hang on. A verse just came to mind. And is this the first time that hip hop mixed a foreign language inside hip hop? Je m'appelle Mele, adorez-moi, paracis, mademoiselle, adorez-moi, ses, adorez-moi, sis. I don't know the rest of the shit, but hold up. Melly Mel rhymed in French, and then you also had Fab Five Freddy do a whole fucking song, Change de Beat, in French. Hold up, let's clap it up for my fucking hip hop memory. Now, does that predate a Spanish lyric in hip hop? I don't know. Let's look into that. Even still, I don't know what it proves. Because again, I'm not here to try to take anything away from Puerto Ricans in hip hop. I'm just not here to allow people to add things on that necessarily shouldn't be added on either. So that's why this whole percentage thing. And I listened to when Joe said it. I almost feel like he was speaking about, I guess he felt like a lot of Puerto Ricans were there in the Bronx. But damn, it definitely wasn't 50% participation. Like for every Puerto Rican rapper that you can name from back then, I could probably name at least 10 Black rappers. And I don't care. Oh, did you know that this one's father was Puerto Rican? Even them. Like, even if you put them into the list, I'm telling you, it's not going to equal out to 50%. Not DJs, not MCs, and we're talking about the origins here. There's a interview with Grandmaster Caz, and I know he did it on the channel that, of he that we don't fuck with. But anyway, where he's speaking on how he was like one of the pioneers of fucking with Puerto Ricans in hip hop. And that a lot of the Puerto Ricans that he used to fuck with used to have to not other Puerto Ricans out and shit like that for fucking with them. Oh, y'all hanging with these niggas and all this type of shit. Like, yeah. So yeah. I remember when black people in New York used to call the Puerto Ricans the Nazis and shit. Because there was a fucking Puerto Rican gang that used to like wear these swastikas and shit. And yeah, Puerto Rican people was called Nazis by certain foundational black Americans at that time. I'm just telling you the history. This is what the fuck it was. So again, you know, I love my Puerto Rican people. I love my Jamaican people. You know, I love my Guyanese people. I love my foundational black Americans. But we got to tell the truth, man. Like we can't let emotions or what people wish things to be to become history. You know, we can't allow that. We got to let it be known. So, you know, I did the knowledge. I said, man, I think it's important that I speak on this. Yes, the guy who many people feel is like a gatekeeper and, you know, someone who brought this question up in the first goddamn place as far as who is the owner of this house that we call hip hop. Albert Jameson, thank you. He said, just tuning in, been running to your page the past couple of days, waiting for you to say something about this topic. Thank you, Lord Jamar. Peace, God. Peace, Albert. Appreciate you. Yeah, so there you have it. I mean, people like him, you know, they look to people with authenticity to see how they feel about this, you know. Now there's a chance that, you know, people can get upset by what, you know, you can't please everybody, first of all. You know what I mean? You're not going to please everybody. So what I do, I just stay on the side of truth. You know what I mean? I stay on the side of God and let the chips fall where they may, you know? It is what it is, man.